we go. Okay, so we're now recording, and this is, of course, office hours. Your question is about number 78 from chapter 1. So that's like 1.78 is what we would, I think the book actually literally calls it. As you can see, here's the question. So that's the proper that. How many white blood cells does a normal adult with 5 liters of blood have? Okay, so this requires a couple of pieces of knowledge. This is a question that is drawing on the first thing that it's doing is a unit conversion. And it's also making use of the metric system. And I think in the book, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is millimeters cubed.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, very good. Actually, let's see here. If I use this might actually be even better. I can just erase that entirely. There we go. So it should look like that. It should be in millimeters cubed. And that's important because otherwise we were dealing with something that was going from linear dimensions to volume, which is 3 dimensions. So let's begin with, what are we trying to achieve here? Can you tell me where we're trying to go with this?
We're trying to get how many white blood cells in 5 liters.
Yes.
And with the numbers, it like times 10 to something.
Yes.
In that form, yeah.
Okay. Now, and so we're trying to find number of blood cells, right?
Yes.
Okay, so then we are looking for numbers of white blood cells. I'm going to use a shorthand white blood cell like that in 5 liters of blood. And we know that there are
12,000 cells.
Exactly. So there's at least, we'll just say at least 12,000 white blood cells
In 1 millimeter
cubed. Exactly. So we've got per 1 millimeter cubed. Exactly. Okay. Good so far?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any idea where to go from here?
Do we convert mn3 to L, 2 liter?
That is the right general direction we need to go in. Absolutely. So to recap that, you are saying, I think what you're saying, and let me to try to describe this back and tell me if I'm correct. You're thinking we need to know how many millimeters cubed are in 5 liters, essentially, right? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And if I am not understanding, please just let me know, and we will work on establishing better understanding. So, do you have any idea how to do that?
No.
Okay, that's all right. Are you okay if I, or you know what, give me one, yeah, no, we're gonna go with this. Okay, so we're gonna go with this. We're gonna go to the next page. And what we're gonna say is, what we are really trying to come up with is have you ever heard of conversion factors?
Conversion. I believe, yeah, I do. I just
Okay.
don't remember. Yeah.
That's okay. So what we're looking for is a conversion factor. What a conversion factor does is it bridges a connection between different types of units, or different units. Not different types. I shouldn't say different types. What I should actually say is not different types, but different units of the same type is generally what we're looking for in general. So what we're talking about right now, the type of unit we're looking at, the type is volume, right?
Yeah.
And that makes sense?
Yes.
Because what you're talking about is in 1 meter cubed, we're talking about, like, basically the general idea of what we're talking about is, imagine a little cube, an actual little cube like this, that has dimensions of 1 millimeter, 1 millimeter, and 1 millimeter on all three sides. That's what we start with when we're talking about this. And inside the cube are greater than 12,000 white blood cells. That was what we're told. That makes sense?
So inside the cube, pretty good. Yeah.
Any questions about that?
No.
Is there anything here where you're confused?
Inside the cube are not really. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. And if you do become confused, let me know, and we'll do our best to clarify it. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay. Good. So, so now we're looking for number of white blood cells in 5 liters.
So we just convert cube to liter.
Well, essentially, yes. And here's what I'll show you what we're trying to do. So we've got something like, to start with, 12,000 white blood cells per 1 meter cubed. And essentially, what we're trying to do is we're trying to take this thing, this number right here. So this is our starting place, right?
Yeah.
And what we're trying to do is find some sort of thing. It may be more than one multiplication that we do. And we're trying to do that multiplication that at the end of the day gives us a number of white blood cells over 5 liters. Does that make sense at all?
Kind of like, yeah, kind of. So
Here's a question for you. Have you done, basically, have you done unit conversions before?
I believe so, but I don't remember all those things.
Okay. So, because what we're talking about right now are unit conversions.
Yes.
Okay. As an aside to that, let's look at a simpler one first. Okay. If we're talking about, here's a question for you. how many inches are, we'll say 1,500 millimeters.
Oh. Inches. Um.
Do you know how to do that one?
No.
That's okay. That's good. It's almost well, it's good that you told me that, okay? Because that gives us a starting place. So we need connections between millimeters and inches to begin with. You have to know what those connections are. So let me tell you a couple of facts. There are roughly, approximately, we just say approximately because it's not exact. There are approximately 2.54 centimeters per inch. Okay.
Yes.
Now, do you know how many? But okay, so now we know how many centimeters there are per inch. That doesn't tell us how many millimeters per inch, but do you know how many? What the relationship is between centimeters and millimeters?
Is it times 1,000 or 100?
Okay, so we'll go to one other little thing. We'll come back to this question. Okay,
Yes. Yes.
let's talk the metric system. Okay. Because this is an important topic. So let's talk about the metric system and what you guys need to know about that. To begin with, the prefixes are a big part of what you really need to know. And the ones you probably will need to know are mega, let's see, mega, kilo, hecta, deca, okay. And then there's what we call, I like to put here, the base unit. And that's just basically saying what the unit you're actually talking about is. And then the other prefixes are deci, centi, milli, micro, nano, pico, femto. Okay, good so far?
Yeah, because so for the base unit, because I've learned that in Vietnam like many years ago, and
Okay.
it's different. It's pronounced differently from here, and I haven't like reviewed these things since I came here, so I don't remember anything. That's why.
Okay, so that would be something that you may need. There may be topics where you may have to spend extra time, and I hope that doesn't frustrate you.
Yes.
But whatever you got to do, right?
Yes.
It just is the situation. Okay, so that puts us that way, and then we've got deci, which is just a D, centi a C, millis an M, micro is a mu, nano is an N, pico is P, femto is F. Now, the conversion from the base unit, we'll use this is not exponential, and that's important. So this works for grams, liters, meters, and anything that's linear, doesn't have an exponent on, all right? Does not work directly for things like meters cubed, meters squared, so on and so forth. You cannot use these relations the same way. There's a little alteration you have to do. And I just want to be clear on that because that's a common place that people do make mistakes. So we're just going to use meters here. I'm going to say that 1 megameter is equal to, do you know how many meters?
1 mm, 2 meter, 1 m.
So 1 big M, meaning mega.
1,000.
It's a bit more. It's 1 times 10 to the 6 meters. So there is 1 times 10 to the 6 meters in a megameter.
That's megameter, not millimeter.
Exactly. We're talking about megameter. Let me see if I can make this a little bit easier to read. And you know what? We'll use something that people actually care about, because people don't necessarily care always about distance as much as they should. But another one that you could use here is the byte. You know how much people care about their internet technology, their phones, their storage space on their hard drives, things like that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Everyone wants the phone with the most space, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to talk about bytes instead for this example, okay? So 1 megabyte, MB, like this. I think megabyte is actually a big B, yeah. I think byte is capital B, and I think bit is lowercase b. That's a whole other issue, though. So we'll go with megabyte, big B, is equal to 1 times 10 to the 6th bytes. Good so far?
Yes.
Okay. Now I am going to go back to distance as soon as we get down a little bit because no one talks about decibytes. But people do still talk about kilobytes. So 1 kilobyte, KB, is equal to 1 times 10 to the 3rd bytes.
Okay.
Good so far?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Actually, we have to remember all these conversion for the quizzes and tests, right?
You will need to know them, yes. And it is something that you'll probably need to know outside of this class. This is not the only class where you'll probably need to use the metric system. Yeah. So getting these down back in your brain is good. And if you have time, I know it's hard to find time sometimes, but if you have time, going online and finding more practice is absolutely a good idea. If you guys want, I can post for you more practice problems as well.
Okay.
They won't be assigned. You won't get like credit for them, but they will be extra practice because the practice is what you guys really need.
Okay.
Good so far?
Yes.
Okay. 1 decabyte, which is not really something people tend to talk about, but 1 decabyte is equal to 1 times 10 to let me make sure I'm getting this right. 1 decabyte. Oh yeah, because I forgot hecta. I forgot hecta.
Yeah.
I was going, wait, this doesn't feel
So
quite
I
right.
just have to, oh, okay.
Go ahead.
So all these things you have just written out, we have to memorize those things, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And practice will make it possible for you to not have to memorize them as much as just know them. The more you practice, the better it gets stored in your brain. 1 decabyte is equal to 1 times 10 to the 1 bytes. Now I'm going to switch over to meters, and I'll say that 1 decimeter is equal to 1 times 10 to the, right, 1 times 10 to the minus 1 meters.
What is that DM?
That's a
that-
decimeter.
Meter. Okay, decimeter.
And then we can say that 1 centimeter is equal to 1 times 10 to the minus 2 meters. 1 millimeter is equal to 1 times 10 to the 3 meters. 1 micrometer is equal to 1 times 10 to the 6 meters. 1 nanometer is equal to 1 times 10 to the 9 meters. And 1 picometer is equal to 1 times 10 to the, oh, sorry, these should be minus, my apologies, minus 3, minus 6, minus 9, minus 12 meters. And 1, my apologies about that, 1 pico, 1 femtometer is equal to 1 times 10 to the minus 15 meters.
Is NM a nanometer?
Exactly.
And PM is pico, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why last night I haven't seen this before, and last night I saw these units from the homework, and they are pretty new for me. So I Googled them.
Good.
I'm not. I'm really like. I'm really not feeling confident for these, but I'll try my best this semester.
I really hope to see you succeed. And I will do my best to provide you the opportunities. And of course, you may have to do extra work, unfortunately, if you are struggling. It's not fair, but that's just how the situation is.
I'll try.
I wish I could do more, but it is what it is.
Yes.
For lack of a better expression, it is what it is. Okay, so
should we go back to the problem?
Yes. So does this make sense if I say the prefixes, these units are smaller than the base unit? So like 1 millimeter is smaller than a meter, whereas 1 megameter is bigger than a meter.
So it decrease. I mean, it's. Is it in? No, it's decrease. Down, like going down, right?
Exactly. Going down, it decreases. Going up, the size of the unit increases. Exactly.
Okay.
Good so far?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, so now I'm going to jump back to the previous problem. Is that all right?
Yes.
Okay, going back, here we are. Okay, so now we know that we've got 2.54 centimeters per inch. And the question is, how many inches are 1,500 millimeters? That makes sense?
Yes. So Wait a minute. Centimeter to millimeter. So, wait a minute. Is it, is it 25.4 millimeter?
It is. Well, okay.
Okay,
Let me
then
put this. Do you mean
yeah.
is the final answer 25.4 or just
No,
are you
no,
saying
no.
that 1 inch is
Just the
25.4? Sorry?
no, just the centimeters to millimeters first is 25.4.
Okay, I think I see what you're saying. What you're actually trying to say is that 1 inch is 25.4 millimeters,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let me try something else here to see if this helps. You let me know if this is more confusing or if it helps, okay? I'm going to try
Yeah.
showing you sometimes something that we teach in chemistry, and we'll see if it helps you, okay?
Okay.
If it's more confusing, then I will just say forget it. But sometimes professors like to show this thing, and I don't know, some people call them the railroad tracks. Sometimes it's just, whatever. It's just a device to do a calculation, okay? And what you do on this little grid is you put your starting info here. And you can think of this as being like a fraction. This is the top of the fraction. This is the bottom of the fraction. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you do this calculation, you can make this bigger and bigger if you need to. And finally, we're just going to put conversions along here. So you put whatever information you need to get cross-canceling to work. You're familiar with the idea of cross-canceling?
Yes.
Okay, so let me show you what I mean too. We started with 1,500 millimeters, right? Make sense so far?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're trying to get an answer in blank inches. Right? Okay, so we need to go somehow from millimeters through some conversions to inches. And that makes sense, right?
Yes. So
Go
like
ahead.
yes. So first of all, we just have to do like we have to convert mm to cm
Okay.
first.
Yep.
So 1000 mm to cm is 150.0.
Okay, so I think you are thinking about this in the right direction. Absolutely. So you're going from millimeters to centimeters, and then you need to go, what do you need to do from cm? Then you need to go to inches, right?
Yes.
Like so. Okay, so what I like to do is decide what I'm trying to cancel. So I put 1 millimeter, for example, here. Make sense so far?
Yes.
How many millimeters, or what I should ask is, how many centimeters is 1 millimeter?
How many centimeters to mil? Is it 10?
Almost. It's
No.
1 times 10 to the minus 1 centimeters.
So centimeters to millimeters is times 10. Is times to the 10. Times 10.
So exactly. So what you're saying is 1 centimeter is equal to 10 millimeters, or 1 times 10 to the 1 millimeters, like that. Absolutely. Okay.
Yes.
You could also say that 1 millimeter is equal to 1 times 10 to the minus 1 centimeters.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. If that is at all confusing and you just want to remember one fact, all you have to do is remember one of these numbers, and it doesn't matter which one you remember, they both work. Okay. So if you happen to remember that 10 millimeters is one times 10. Actually, we don't need to put a 1 times 10. We'll just put 1
Is it
1 centimeter.
like
If this
yes.
is the one you're remembering, right? So 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. That's the
Yes.
one you're remembering.
Yeah.
That's perfectly fine. Okay. They mean the same thing. That's all I'm trying to say right here. Whichever one you remember, they mean the same thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense at all?
Yes.
Okay. So if you remember that 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, you will be able to answer this question still, because you still have a conversion factor that is the same conversion factor I was going to use, just emphasizing differently which unit you decide to call 1. Good so far?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have our conversion from millimeters to centimeters. Okay,
Yes.
now we just need to go from centimeters to inches.
Centimeters to inches. Do we divide it by the number you just wrote, like 2.54?
So we need to go 2.54 centimeters, right? Is equal to 1 inch.
Inch?
Yes.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Because ultimately, what's really nice about units is if you write your units correctly and label them and orient your conversions properly, everything will always cancel out that you don't want there. See how millimeters cancels with millimeters?
Yes.
And then centimeters cancel with centimeters.
Like the way you did is like you just wrote the number from the problem and then you put 2 extra ones from like the original, like the formula, and then you just cross out the same units. Is it?
Exactly. Your units can tell you which one goes on top and which one goes on bottom.
Oh, I see.
And so if you don't like this little grid, you don't have to use it. You can still do 1,500 millimeters over 1 times 1 centimeter over 10 millimeters, because this just means the same thing, times 1 inch over 2.54 centimeters, and you can still see the units will cancel properly.
Oh, but Professor, what if I want to do like in a short way? Like just do one step, like short step way.
So you mean if you want to do a way that you're like, well, I know that there's 1,500 millimeters, and you happen to know, or it makes sense to you that there is 25.4 millimeters to 1 inch.
Yeah.
If that one makes sense to you, I'll accept it. You can do that. Okay. You still need to have a correct conversion factor. But if you're able to provide that conversion factor, that's fine.
Okay. So like basically this problem is just like, so what I mean, what I was thinking to do this problem was to convert no, actually, can I see the problem again?
The original
Sorry.
problem?
Yes, please.
Sure. So the original problem is here.
Okay, so basically, the problem is just we convert mm to cm and then wait. Oh, actually, we're talking about another problem. Oh,
Yes.
okay. So, so basically, we just convert the to
Or not 12, sorry, 12, not mm cubed. It's 12,000 white blood cells.
each mm. Okay, and then how many in 5 liters?
So there is a couple of tricks here that makes this problem actually a little bit more complex than the other one we were looking at.
Yes.
Okay. Do you happen to know what they are?
Do I know what? Sorry.
What the connections are?
So, like we have to convert the cube to the liters.
That's correct. Now, how do we do that?
Mm.
Yes. How do you bridge that one?
Is there a new way?
There are, but you have to know the connections. Have you ever used like a subway system?
Subway system? I don't really know.
Okay,
I'm
well,
not sure.
it's like trying to drive your car or even walk from one location to another that's not on a straight line. You need to know which streets, which turns to make.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay, so if we have units of millimeters cubed, we have to find a way to get to liters. Okay. Now, the first question is, how do we connect the base unit? How do we even connect something that has meters cubed
2 liters.
to liters? That makes sense? Because liters
Yes.
and meters cubed are, as the symbol indicates, quite different in many ways, right?
Yes.
Okay. So one of those facts that you do need to know is that 1 centimeter cubed is equal to 1 milliliter. This is just like when I told you how many centimeters were in an inch. This is one of those little conversions for the metric system that you got to know. 1 centimeter cubed is a milliliter.
1 centimeter. I'm gonna write it down. Okay, so do we just convert cube to the cm cube first?
So you've got to do, yes, exactly. You've got to go cubed, so millimeters cubed, to centimeters cubed. Then you can convert that to milliliters. And then you can convert milliliters to liters.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how are we going to do that?
Okay, so M3 to CM3 10 times, I mean, times tends to -1.
Now this is where it gets tricky. Okay, this is, well, I should say yet another place where it gets tricky. Okay, because you're telling me
Oh, because
that
it's cute.
exactly it's cubed. So 1 millimeter, or I should say, sorry, 10 millimeters. Let me see if I can make this right. We cannot say that that 10 millimeters cubed. That's not the same thing as 1 centimeter cubed. Does that make sense?
Yes.
While we know that 10 millimeters is equal to 1 centimeter, this is true. The other one is not.
Okay. Because that's cute. Yeah.
Exactly. So what you do is you go 1 centimeter, 10 millimeters. That one we know. Then what do we need to do?
We times another unit.
Of what?
Oh, up 3.
What do you mean?
Is it to the third?
Yes, exactly. So you raise this. So the thing in parentheses, you raise it to the power of 3.
Oh my God. If this happens on the test, oh my God.
Well, it very likely may show up on the exam, this sort of thing. This is an important concept to understand.
Yes.
Are you all right?
Okay. I am very nervous.
Okay. What we've done right here, though, is that this converts millimeters cubed to, oh shoot, sorry about that. Hold on one sec. My computer decided to be annoying. My apologies. Please hold on one second. Let's reshare this screen. There we go. Okay. So this converts millimeters cubed to centimeters cubed. Okay. Good so far?
Convert cube to cm cube.
That thing we've created converts the millimeters cubed to cm cubed.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, the
Yeah.
rest of this honestly does get easier. Okay. The most tricky part is remembering that 1 cm cubed is equal to 1 milliliter, and then creating the conversion factor for millimeters cubed to centimeters cubed. Okay. It actually is a lot easier from here. What's the next thing we do?
Do we find another unit?
We do need another conversion, yes. Look at our little map right here. We've got a little roadmap right here. This thing right here is our roadmap telling us what we need to convert to what. Okay.
Yeah.
So
then 1 cm.
We need to go cm. We're at cm cubed.
Yeah, and then 1 cm is 1 cm ml.
Okay, good.
This is so hard for me.
Well, then take some comfort in the fact that you are doing it. Okay. Do realize that you did recognize that you needed to cube it, that you needed to put the cube there for the centimeters to millimeters. In order to get that right, you needed to cube that conversion. Okay. And you did recognize that you now have the tool, the 1 cm cubed is equal to 1 ml. You remembered, you saw that you have that one now.
Okay.
Okay. And now there's just one more step we need to do.
Equal.
Okay, not technically one step. There's two steps, but there's one big step, the hardest step remaining. So we've driven our car to CM cubed. Go ahead.
No, actually, no. Hmm.
So we need now to go from where to where?
From ML to L.
Yes. How do we do that?
Is it 1 ml? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. ML.
You can do this. Yeah, well, okay. 1 ml or 1L. Which one would you like to work with? Would you rather say 1 liter is equal to?
Yes, 1 liter.
Okay, so 1 liter is equal to how many milliliters?
100.
So are you okay if I change the slide for a second?
Yes.
I'm going to try to show you a little thing. In Latin, dec kind of means 10 of something, or tenths of something means 10. Cen or centi comes from Latin for something meaning 100. And mil is a root kind of indicating 1,000. Now, in the case of the metric system, we're actually saying thousandth, hundredth, tenth. So this is the 10th, and this is the 100, and this is the 1,000, meaning smaller than, but mil means thousandth. So the prefix actually does indicate where we're trying to go, especially for those ones. So 1 liter is equal to how many milliliters?
Is it 1,000?
Exactly. Okay.
This is so hard for me.
That's why I'm trying to give you a little bit of extra information. I hope the information is useful and not scary.
Is it? Yes.
Go ahead.
Is it like equal to question mark y WBC over 5 liters?
So we need to do one more thing. You are right. We're not quite done. Okay. There's one final piece of information we need to do. Okay. And we need to multiply this by 5. Let's see. What am I doing? What is it? Millimeters. Centimeters cancel. Oh, there's actually a problem here. Do you see the problem? I'm not sure you do, but let me point it out. Do you see how the units aren't going to cancel properly?
No.
So cm cubed is not going to cancel millimeters cubed here.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? They're not going to cancel?
Yes.
So
yes.
we actually, I do apologize for this. I should have caught this sooner. But what we actually need to do is correct this. So this cannot be like this. And this cannot be like that. So we actually need to correct. We have the right conversion factors. They just aren't oriented properly. And I apologize. I should have caught that. It's not fair to you
That's
that
fine.
I set all this up like that. I do apologize for my
Fine.
missing
You're
that.
fine.
So, but you know what, this actually allows me to show you an important thing. It's important to make sure that your units cancel properly, because if they don't cancel properly,
It can
then
be.
you actually are, that is an important way of being able to tell that you're going to get the wrong answer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And professional one is our first quiz.
So if we're talking about the first exam, I can't remember where I listed it in the syllabus. I think it's week 7, but I can't remember exactly.
So we don't have any quizzes, like small quizzes. We only have exam, right?
So I don't have any quizzes yet planned. However, would it be useful to you if I did give some quizzes, at least a few quizzes here and there?
And we cannot use any cheat sheets.
Correct.
No.
No cheat sheets. Yes.
No notes or
No notes, no cheat sheets, because that would require me to potentially make things more difficult.
nothing for quizzes and tests, right?
Correct. Nothing for quizzes or tests. Homework is fine to use notes on. So what we need to do is we need to put 10 millimeters on the top, like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that when it gets cubed, millimeters cubed will cancel. And then we need to put 1 centimeter, which gets cubed on the bottom. So that will cancel properly. That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay. The next step then we need to do is put 1 centimeter cubed on top here so that those will cancel.
Yes.
And then 1 milliliter on the bottom.
Why is it 1 millimeter is equal to 1 centimeter cubed?
That's a definition. That is a definition in the metric system. So when the metric system was being designed, they defined 1 milliliter as equal to 1 centimeter cubed.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a definition. Now, you okay?
Yes.
Okay. So
I'm just
now,
feeling very stressful for chemistry.
I got you. 1,000 milliliters, like we said before, is 1 liter. Okay.
Okay.
And finally, we need to put 5 liters right here on top. Like so, and set it equal. Okay.
Okay.
Does that make sense so far?
But why is it not? Why don't you put 5 liters after the equal sign?
Well, we could find out how many is in 1 liter and then make use of 5 liters. But the key we're trying to do here is we're trying to find out how much is in 5 liters. So we need our units to cancel with liters. We need our centimeters cubed to cancel with centimeters cubed. And then we need milliliters to cancel with milliliters, and millimeters cubed to cancel with millimeters cubed, like that. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So it's just okay. Okay, let me try to calculate it. Ooh, I have very big number.
It should be.
Oh, it's 6 times 10 to the 10.
So you've got 6 times 10 to the 10 as your answer?
To the 10. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm almost thinking it should be bigger. So it should be 12,000. Okay, 12,000, and then you should be multiplying that by 1 times 10. 1 times 10 to the third.
What?
So it should be 12,000 multiplied by
It's
10 to the third
to the power.
to the power of 3
Yes, and then
times
yeah,
1,000
and then times 1,000,
and then times 5.
and then times 5.
Oh, no, you're absolutely right. My apologies. You are 100% right. This is the correct answer. I do apologize.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, no, you are absolutely right. 6 times 10 to the 10 white blood cells. Don't forget to put your units on there. It's always vital that you label everything with the appropriate units. The correct units must be indicated.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. Yes. I'm so nervous. I'm feeling very overwhelmed for chemistry.
I think
But
if
thank
you
you
have
for
the
your
time,
help.
the practice and reaching out to tutoring as well, if you have time and
Yeah,
opportunities.
I'm trying to go to the tutoring after your office hours.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, because I really need extra help.
Okay. Did this help?
Yes, this helped me a lot. Thank you.
Okay, good. Then I'm going to end my office hour here because I'm actually 15 minutes over my office hour.
Yes, I know it. Yes, thank you so much.
No problem.